Hidden behind the sunny beaches of Mexico and deep within the rugged mountains of Sinaloa lies one of the most powerful and dangerous criminal empires the world has ever seen. A cartel so vast, it touched every continent. And at its core, one man became legend, Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán. This is the story of the Sinaloa Cartel, a journey of brutality, corruption, and unimaginable wealth. Chapter 1. The Birth of a Cartel. In the heart of Mexico's rugged Sierra Madre Mountains, in a state called Sinaloa, a revolution in organized crime was quietly brewing. It began with poppy seeds and marijuana fields, but what emerged would become one of the most powerful criminal syndicates the world has ever known. During the 1970s, Mexican drug trafficking was decentralized and run by small-time smugglers. This changed with the emergence of the Guadalajara Cartel, headed by Miguel Ángel Felix Gallardo. Gallardo wasn't just another gangster, he was a visionary. He brought order to chaos, uniting various traffickers under a single umbrella. One of those traffickers was a short, scrappy kid named Joaquín Guzmán Lora. Nicknamed El Chapo, or Shorty, he would rise from a low-level player to become the kingpin of the future Sinaloa Cartel. But first, he had to learn the ropes. Gallardo's cartel thrived by coordinating routes and protection through corrupt law enforcement and politicians. The money flowed in, but internal disputes and U.S. pressure after the murder of DEA agent Enrique Kiki Camarena led to Gallardo's arrest in 1989. With the power vacuum came fragmentation and opportunity. That's when the seeds of the Sinaloa Cartel truly began to grow. Chapter 2. The Rise of El Chapo. Joaquín Guzmán wasn't just a drug dealer. He was a logistics genius, a master strategist, and he saw a future that others couldn't. Born into poverty in La Tuna, Sinaloa, El Chapo grew up around opium and marijuana. Violence and hardship shaped his childhood. Expelled from school at an early age, he found purpose in the drug trade. By the late 80s, he was ready to lead. Post-Gallardo, the old cartel splintered into various factions. El Chapo formed an alliance with Hector Palma and Ismael El Mayo Zambada, founding what would soon become known as the Sinaloa Cartel. With Palma's aggression, El Mayo's diplomacy, and Chapo's logistics, the trio was unstoppable. They utilized a network of mountainous routes and remote airstrips to move Colombian cocaine into the United States. But what made El Chapo different was his ability to innovate beyond traditional smuggling methods. Chapter 3. Tunnels, Tricks, and Trafficking. When border walls went up, El Chapo went down, underground. While other cartels relied on violence and brute force, El Chapo used creativity. One of his greatest innovations was the tunnel, an elaborate system stretching beneath the U.S.-Mexico border. Some were equipped with railways, lighting, and ventilation, allowing tons of cocaine, heroin, meth, and marijuana to flow undetected. But the tunnels were just the beginning. Chapo's men smuggled drugs in fake chili cans, shampoo bottles, and even submarines. He pioneered the use of semi-submersibles, cargo planes, and corrupt customs officials to move massive shipments undisturbed. The Sinaloa Cartel also expanded its synthetic drug empire, flooding the U.S. with methamphetamine and fentanyl, a move that would have deadly consequences for years to come. Chapter 4. Wars, Rivals, and Brutality. As power grew, so did enemies. In the Mexican underworld, alliances don't last. Bloodshed does. With dominance came conflict. El Chapo's cartel battled fiercely with rivals. The Tijuana Cartel, the Juarez Cartel, and later, the bloodthirsty Zetas and Beltran Leyva organization. These weren't just turf wars. They were wars for dominance of the billion-dollar cocaine corridors into the United States. Cities like Ciudad Juarez became killing fields. Thousands were slaughtered. The Sinaloa Cartel bribed officials at every level, from police to governors. Their rivals often preferred terror, unleashing barbarity that included beheadings, mass graves, and attacks on civilians. In the chaos, El Chapo emerged as a mythic figure. To some, he was a Robin Hood. To others, the devil incarnate. But make no mistake, he was at the center of it all. Chapter 5: Global Expansion. By the 2000s, the Sinaloa Cartel had transformed. It wasn't a Mexican cartel anymore. It was a global empire. From Europe to Africa to Asia, Sinaloa products, especially cocaine and fentanyl, spread like wildfire. Chapo and his partners forged ties with Italy's Ndrangheta mafia, Chinese money launderers, Colombian cocaine producers, and corrupt officials on every continent. They purchased ports, disguised drugs in shipping containers, and used banks, casinos, and shell companies to clean billions of dollars. By 2010, the DEA estimated that the cartel moved over 25% of all illegal drugs entering the U.S. Through diversification, clever partnerships, and extreme violence, the Sinaloa Cartel became the gold standard of organized crime. Chapter 6: The Legend of the Escapes. Prisons were made to hold men. But Chapo wasn't just any man. He turned escapes into art. In 2001, El Chapo escaped from Puente Grande prison, allegedly inside a laundry cart. For years, he ruled from the shadows. Captured again in 2014, he escaped once more in 2015 through a mile-long tunnel dug directly into his cell. The tunnel had lights, air, and even a motorcycle on rails. It was a national embarrassment for Mexico and a testament to the cartel's reach. While on the run, Chapo was interviewed by actor Sean Penn, further cementing his infamy. He became a folk hero in narco culture, featured in ballads, t-shirts, and memes. But his luck wouldn't last forever. Chapter 7: The Fall, Trial, and Extradition. Every king must one day fall. And for El Chapo, the fall was loud, public, and final. In 2016, Mexican Marines recaptured him. By 2017, he was extradited to the United States. His trial in Brooklyn became a media sensation. Over 56 witnesses detailed his empire's savagery, betrayals, and massive wealth. Chapo was found guilty on all 10 criminal counts. He received a life sentence plus 30 years and now resides in Colorado's Supermax prison, known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies. Behind bars, Chapo's voice faded, but his legacy had already outgrown him. Chapter 8: Legacy of a Drug Lord. Sinaloa without Chapo. Behind bars, but not forgotten. El Chapo may be gone, but the Sinaloa Cartel is far from finished. After Guzman's incarceration, many assumed the empire would collapse. But the Sinaloa Cartel was never just one man. It was a multinational machine. Leadership passed to his sons, known as Los Chapitos, including Ivan Archivaldo and Jesus Alfredo Guzman. Together with long-standing partner Ismael El Mayo Zambada, they continued operations across 5 continents. Meanwhile, a brutal new player rose, Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generation, CJNG, challenging Sinaloa's dominance. This ignited a new era of cartel wars marked by even greater brutality, mass killings, and territorial battles, especially in states like Michoacán, Guerrero, and Zacatecas. But the Sinaloa Cartel proved remarkably resilient. Its network of money laundering, logistics, and corruption remained deeply entrenched. U.S. authorities estimate it still moves billions annually in cocaine, heroin, meth, and fentanyl. The fentanyl crisis, in particular, has drawn renewed scrutiny. The U.S. blames Mexican cartels, especially Sinaloa, for flooding cities with synthetic opioids, contributing to over 100,000 overdose deaths a year. In 2023, several high-ranking Sinaloa members, including Chapo's sons, were indicted by the U.S. for their role in fentanyl trafficking. El Chapo may be locked in solitary confinement, but his legacy walks freely across borders in every shipment, every bribe, and every overdose. He didn't just build a drug cartel. He built a blueprint for transnational criminal empires. The question is, who's next?